Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. In today's video, Olive, Jennifer, and I are still working on this tree. Now, this has been a lot of work. There's been, I think, 3 or 4 times that I've shot videos out here about cleaning up just the limbs, and I actually split one of those big rounds in a previous video. You saw it was so big that I actually had to noodle it with the chainsaw to get it up on the splitter. But we've got a lot of firewood here. It's just a matter of taking the time or having the time to work on it. And we did save significant costs by doing this ourselves rather than having Mike, when he cut down the tree, clean it all up. But that is an option he does offer, is he'd do all the cleanup. He would also do the stump grinding if you wanted that done. But for us, we wanted the firewood and we wanted to save some money. So while this is a lot of work, there's also a lot of benefit. See how it sliced right through that hard knot? So we're making pretty good progress here. It's a lot faster with 2 people. But just like you saw if you watched the video of me, it was about how many splits are in a large round. Once I got into the center of that maple round, we found the ants. We're finding the ants in several of these, even though we're not to the core of that section of the round yet. So any of those pieces, Jennifer's taking them down to a separate pile. What are you doing with those?
Some I threw in the woods and some I put in a burn pile.
Okay. So we don't want to risk putting those in our wood pile or taking them in the house. So they're just dormant right now, not dead. They still will come back to life, at least the majority of them, after the winter time. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for those as we work our way through, but at least we got some of that cleaned up. And this has certainly been an area that the animals have been hanging out, we're finding, as we walk around.
Bear poop and deer poop everywhere.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get some more of the limb rounds onto the wood splitter, and we'll wait and do these big rounds. I know some of them will need to be noodled, so we'll just try to get as much of this done as we can before it gets dark. It's getting a little bit lighter every day. We're thankful for that, but it's already starting to get dark this Saturday afternoon. So we'll do some more of this and we'll catch up with you at the end. So slight change of plan. I was kind of working little to big up through the wood, but instead it'll be nice to get this corner cleaned out. So we're gonna get these 4 or 5 rounds that are right here, the bigger ones, at least in scale compared to what we've done, out of the way. We've got a ton of really big ones over there, but it'll be nice to at least get this side cleared out. That'll let me put the tractor up in here to work on it, or the side-by-side a little bit easier. We'll make a path. So we got that pathway cleared, and it's quite a load here on the back of the Ranger. But you saw in the title, I called this video Weird Maple, because I've split a lot of maple in my day, and I think it was probably because this is a limb. The tree was kind of split in the middle, and then this part was leaning towards the house. That's why we had Mike take it down.
A full-size tree.
It was a big tree, but even the limb was about as big as some trees that we would normally cut and split.
Right.
And this is real. It's almost stringy, and I'm not sure why that would be, but it's got a ton of knots in it. So even though those knots are in the center of a limb that was coming out, there must have been a lot of, side shoots coming out each different way, because that was some hard stuff to split. Some of the more difficult knots that we've cut through, and at least with the split fire, it got through them all. A lot of times it just slices. That knife is so sharp that instead of splitting the wood, if it comes against a tough knot, it just slices through it like a knife. But pretty heavy load here, probably overdid it on the Ranger a little bit. Four-wheel drive still isn't working, so at least this weight will give us some momentum moving up through the mud, and hopefully we can get to where the stack is. If not, we may have to start a new stack of firewood somewhere else.
I can't even. I have no words.
So we're gonna go up and unload this. We'll do a video of this being stacked onto the stack if we can get there. Okay, I've got to get a run for this hill, starting way back here, so I need to straighten out. And I might drop a piece of firewood or two on the way up the hill. Sooner or later, we'll get this four-wheel drive fixed, or a side-by-side that has four-wheel drive. Wish me luck going up this hill. I own a tractor with a forklift too. Slippery in the mud.
Would someone say in one of the comments that you were trying to figure out ways to work smarter, not harder? It's pretty obvious that you're lazy, you know.
I said in the comments of that video that I have been called lazy before by someone who picks up my socks in the living room.
That is true. That's a different kind of lazy.
Okay, I've got another pallet up here.
Better than we thought.
Yep.
You don't need no four-wheel drive.
Yeah. There were definitely a lot of weird pieces in there, a lot of bends in the tree and hard stuff to stack, and I am the world's worst stacker, so I probably did the worst job at it, but you'll be watching that time lapse and let me know how many things I did wrong. Leave those comments down below for tips and tricks for Chad on how to stack wood better. But Jennifer was just talking off camera here. Firewooding is not for people who like to sit around. It's a lot of work. We didn't get a whole lot of wood out of, I don't know, how long do you think we worked? So we worked for about an hour and 20 minutes. Everything takes about twice as long when you're videoing it for YouTube. I know that, but it was a lot of work for not a lot of wood. If people would rather still have a fire but not do all the work, you can always buy for about $350 a cord firewood, or like we've shown in a couple videos, you can use those bio bricks or the Enviro bricks that you can get at Tractor Supply. We just enjoy the process. We don't like to sit around. We like to sit around and relax sometimes, but we like to get out here and do firewood too.
Let's go.
You know, Chad, I think I've said this before, but definitely having a nice splitter like that is one of those things that I'm really glad we didn't put off until we were older. I feel like
I wish we would have done it 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's one of those purchases that I think the younger you are when you buy it, the better.